Hey everyone, and welcome to Believe in Fantasy. It is right now happening. Week 2 is drawing to a close. There has been an absolute ton of fun. I'm dressed very professionally today. I'm very professional for this session, but I'm going to talk about some of the hot takes, the injuries, the big concerns that have come out of the NBA in week 2, including some of my favorite transaction trends that I think we need to make moves on sooner rather than later. I'm here to answer your questions, moving into one of the big things we get in our VIP member Discord is that, like, what do I do? Where do I go? So I've jumped on. I'm in the suit. I've got it going professionally for the day to answer your questions, talk about some of the favorite things from week 2, including an absolute glow up from Austin Reaves. This guy has been performing at an absolutely superhuman rate. On the Fantasy and 5 network, we called him our player of the week. And player of the week doesn't necessarily need to be the guy that's doing the number one thing. What player of the week needs to be in your roster is a guy who fills the void and comes through from you in the clutch. Now, this is what he did against the Minnesota Timberwolves. This guy absolutely stepped up for the Lakers. And what you need to do is find a way to pivot. Now, I'm just saying this. My hot take is this. Get Austin Reaves in your side mid-November. Because for me, the Los Angeles Lakers have a 2-game week coming up. And for me, that is the absolute hallmark time for LeBron to come back. Now, I expect an immediate regression statistically for Austin Reaves to start off that patch because, again, LeBron's coming back. You've got to reacclimate with your teammates. But someone who's been really hyped by him doing the incredible things that Austin Reaves has been doing, AR-15 has been cooking. Let's not mess around about it. This guy in the last week has been absolutely cooking. In fact, the only guy who probably could be cooking more than him are guys like, Jokic this week, Wemby. Kawhi Leonard's had an exceptional week, and the Clippers have a 4-game week, and he is expected to play the back-to-backs. But he has been an absolute godsend for the Los Angeles Clippers. But again, the immediate regression that's going to happen for him, it's going to be there. So if the manager that currently holds Austin Reaves has to freak out just a little bit, that's where you start to need to slow those offers in straight away from him. The Dallas Mavericks have had an absolute run of the time, currently with D'Angelo Russell. Now, he was a drop to start the season 1 week in, 2nd week in, getting more minutes, and he has become one of the hottest players and hottest ads across transactions in Yahoo over recent time. I think this is a perfect window with him in the amount of leagues that he is available in. I'm looking at right now on the backdrop here. It's ridiculous to see how little he is still thinking. Guys like Max Christie, they've got a 4-game week, the Dallas Mavericks. So for me, I'm looking at Mavs. I'm looking at him. But D'Angelo Russell is 31% rostered currently and available in so many leagues. I'm in 2 leagues, and he's just sitting there. D'Angelo Russell has moved right now into an absolute streamer. If you can put yourself in there with a 4-game week, that is an absolute clutch play for you to help you win your week. Absolute other standouts include Colin Gillespie for the Phoenix Suns. This guy has been absolutely cooking of late. I've been a very big fan of his. He is providing that gap and that fill while Jalen Green is still out. Now, Jalen Green is expected to return very, very soon. So for me, I'm keeping my eye on that situation. I think he is the primary recipient. I think if there's Grayson Allen on your waiver wire, we add Grayson Allen straight away. With the injuries and all that's there, here's the guy that you want to be picking up. There's no one else for my mind that you really want to get because all the available players for these guys are gone. Like Nick Richards is probably the deepest in the bench for the Phoenix Suns heading into week 3. But for me, it's Gillespie. I own him in a couple of leagues. I'm very happy to be his manager, to be here rostering him. And this guy right here is absolutely cooking as of late. So we're looking to bring him in when and where we can. I'm also really curious to see what happens with Dylan Brooks coming back into Phoenix. This is a guy who we can roster this week if he is healthy and available. Now, to give you an idea, Gillespie is up 20% in the last day on Yahoo. Don't be late. Don't be sleeping on Gillespie. Now, the injury update for Dylan Brooks and the Phoenix Suns coming into the next week as he's not playing on Sunday. They have a really good schedule, fantasy-friendly, one would say, coming up this way. So we're looking to see those updates on Dylan Brooks. And Jalen Green still is not there. He has been buried Jalen Green is so far buried in your IR spots that we've basically forgotten this bloke exists. He is hamstring and they're both out. They remain sidelined, but he was around for Saturday's practice, Jalen Green. So when we say he's around for practice, he's ramping up. Now, his minutes, he might be on a bit of a restriction, especially if it's a hamstring. And that's never something that's easy to just deal with in the NBA, especially with the force these guys put themselves under day to day on the grind of the NBA. But Jalen Green's return will see a little bit of a decrease, I think, in minutes for Gillespie. The number one with the bullet for me is Grayson Allen. Again, this is a guy that I love to be rostered. I know that Kayla Fonte from Bitches Be Ballin', a good friend of the show. I know Kayla picked him up in my league this week because I'm stacked. I'm so stacked in one of my teams. I'm looking at dropping Kalkbrenner. It's ridiculous. But this guy, Grayson Allen, is up 9% in the last 24 hours to 32% rostered. I'll share it up on screen. This guy has been absolutely cooking as of late. Here, I'll put it up. Let me share. Let me share my window with you. You can see the window. There it is, right there. This is Grayson Allen right now. Grayson Allen has been absolutely cooking. 9% up in the last day. So this is a guy we're looking for, Gillespie and Grayson Allen in the next little bit away. We're looking through these transactions because they mean something. When you have these kind of transaction windows and you're looking at these players that are going to return you, these are the guys. And if you look through the rest of them, no one else is rostered here apart from 25% owned. Gillespie, look, I back it up. Owned. I might be heavily indexed on Phoenix Suns, and I didn't mean to. And I considered picking up Grayson Allen. I was beaten by 1 minute on my alerts on my phone this morning by Kayla Fonte. Again, analyst insight. I've had him here. You can even see probably in his transaction history. But he's available in a couple of other leagues like the points leagues and high score. He's been forgotten about. He has been absolutely fantastic, and I think he still has a significant role to play with the weeks that are to come. Now, if you're looking to absolutely dominate your league, you need to go to sportswizard.com. It is the ultimate fantasy sports edge. It's totally free to sign up, but if you want the real magic, unlock all of the features and use promo code Robin, that's ROBBIN, for 10% off and start winning today. If you've got any questions while I'm live hanging out and chat, hit me up. This is me getting hyped for week 3. We just previewed week 3 over in the Fantasy on 5 show. I'll send a link to that preview if anyone wants to check that one on out. That was a lot of fun. We did a live stream for that last night, and we've got a lot more lives coming up for you here on Believe as well. Big moves for me this week. In that show, we did do a few, we say a little cheeky, a little bit of a cheeky preview of who our favorite guys are in Fantasy in 5. But I think what I might do in comments in chat right now is I might just send that out there for you. There's that. Check that out. But check this out. Just because we love you here at Believe, I'm going to give you my absolute looks for the week that are ahead. This is the ones we did on that show. And shout out to Robin. These are some of our favorite streams heading into week 3. We're all family here in Fantasyland. And I know Robin loves some of these guys as well. You got Allen and Gillespie, like I just mentioned. Minot, 100%. Cater for Boston, 4-game week here. For the Clippers, they've got a 4-game week as well. We've got Derek Jones Jr. and Brock Lopez, especially get rebounds and blocks from Lopez. I've got them in there twice because I love them so much. Again, if you didn't get my message the first time, I'm high on Allen and Gillespie for this week, especially if the absence of Brooks and Green continue. Trey Jones still is not rostered in nearly enough leagues. Quentin Grimes for the Philadelphia 76ers cooking off the bench. And with a 4-game week this week, we absolutely love to see what we can get from Gary Trent Jr. and Kyle Kuzma. These are the guys that we can look to bring in. Even Bobby Portis, in this regard, is worth a shout for me at this point in time because I love Portis the Tortoise. I'm a very, very big fan of Portis the Tortoise. I think he is one of those guys that just gets maligned a lot in leagues. Like, oh, Bobby Portis. But Bobby Portis is widely available in a lot of Yahoo leagues. Check it out. We'll go straight down to the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll take a look. And there you can go. Ryan Rollins, obviously flied. This seems like a crime to me, maybe because of the high score format. Just check your leagues. He's gone up 37% in the last day, which means 6% of owners were woke, 37% in Yahoo were not. That's 37% in 24 hours. That means he may not, or people are just jamming, but I don't know what to do. Kevin Porter Jr. No, Kevin Porter Jr. is out for another month. This guy is rolling. His name is Ryan Rollins. He won our waiver player of the week. You want to get that there. Gary Trent Jr., Beal or no Beal, Kayla Fonte, an analyst pickup early on, 15%. AJ Green, an amazing streamer for points and threes. Kyle Kuzma, 17%. Like we said, you can pick these guys up for the 4-game week. And the most rostered of those guys is Bobby Portis. He has looked a little bit better lately, including that Sacramento win, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. You'll take it every single day of the week, especially with that field goal percentage tracking up. You can see he was shaky to start the season. This, for me, is a bit more of a return to form for Bobby Portis, and I like what I'm seeing from Portis the Tortoise in that regard. Comment in the chat. Make sure you come down if you have any more questions to win your week. Absolutely happy to humbly serve. Big injury concerns across the league, of course, guys like Trae Young. Nickeil Alexander-Walker has absolutely picked up those minutes and has been flying for the Atlanta Hawks. Going into the Atlanta Hawks, we'll have a quick look at them before I touch on the Celtics, who also have a 4-game week. You can see a lot of these guys are owned. This is an analyst league that we're running you through. So you see guys like Steve St. Pierre. And so when we're telling you that we roster these guys, we roster them for a reason. Guys like Ricochet can get a bump. He's 19% rostered right now. Not playing that well, but the quick move here was Nickeil Alexander-Walker. In fact, he is mid-game right now. He is 500 from the floor, only 4 points. This is a bit of a discount for him. 17% up in the past 8, 36% rostered across Yahoo leagues. And again, the primary beneficiary, you can see the minutes track up instantly. The thing was for me, it's only a couple minutes because Trae Young, he was still getting around 30 a game. So for me, this guy was already rosterable, definitely worth the look, especially if he is floating around in any form of deeper leagues. But that is a guy who is going to be getting a bit more burn, especially with the ball in his hands. The other one I'm really curious by was Ricochet. Now, he was in the lineup, played okay, out for a couple of games, an absolute stinker in 20 minutes, went back on. He has been down 12%. Now, I think he is an important offensive weapon for the Atlanta Hawks, especially with Trae Young being out. So seeing him dropped means he's probably going to be on waivers. Now, I'm not going to say that you should have a really high waiver claim, but if he pops off with this one, he's only played 7 minutes. They are currently 6 points down in their game. But if Zachary Ricochet can ever figure out how to get a couple more rebounds in a game or pass the ball and distribute a little bit more evenly, he becomes a definite must add in this situation because Ricochet needs to carry some form of offensive load if the Atlanta Hawks are going to be successful, especially with Trae Young being out. The guy who's really stepped up, obviously, is Jalen Johnson. He was primed for a big season, and we can see that after missing that game in a bit of a great start, slow one, missed a game. He has been firing on all cylinders, including a double-double in his last game, and already looking the goods in 9 minutes to provide another one today. He is 100% rostered, but he is on my trade targets list. And another one that is on my trades targets list is this guy right here, Kristaps Porzingis. Now, I love KP, but the one thing that he hasn't been doing is blocking the shots. Now, I think he can be a lot better defensively for the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks collectively could be a lot better. And also the thing that gets me right now is I don't think this is a guy you drop, but he's seen a 1% decrease, and I'm hoping that is in high score leagues on Yahoo. But I am not dropping the Zinger Phillip combo. I am not dropping KP. And if he's been dropped in a 10-man league and you're listening to this, if you're watching this and you're in a 10er and you saw someone drop it, don't do it. This guy is elite. He is a top 30 player when healthy and active. And I think he is an absolute this is a guy you don't expect to go down ownership during the course of the season unless he's injured. What do you want from the guy? 20 points and a double-double? Just because he's not getting 20 points doesn't mean he's not valuable. But he's missed a free throw. Yeah, if he gets to the line a little bit more, usually he hits. But, he got 660. Yeah, fair enough. I get the critique. But we shouldn't be complaining about this guy in our lineups. And his defense, I think, will come a long way. I think we'll get up to those 1.5, 2 blocks a game. We saw it to begin the season. I think the first stat line that he showed before missing those 2 games and came back for an absolute bumper is probably more of the experience that we can see of KP with the steal along the way. I see increased efficiency maybe. I see about 22 points a game. I see about 8 rebounds, a couple of assists, a steal, a couple of blocks, minimal turnovers, high percentages. This is a guy that I absolutely want on my roster. And again, if it's been dropped, which I can't. It's an unfathomable thing to say, oh yeah, Kristaps Porzingis was dropped. Excuse me? What league are you playing in where KP is an even consideration for that? But in the wake of this injury, you can see the other guys that are floating around here are all really well added. The only one there, we could probably see some minutes for Vit and Zachary Ricochet for the Atlanta Hawks. That's probably all we're looking at for these guys here. Other main ads of the week, as I said, we've got the Denver Nuggets. Now, it is our first look at a 4-game Jokic week. Bless up, heaven forbid, if you are this man's opponent. I was the 3rd pick in the draft. He went number 1. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander went number 2. Wemby fell into my lap at number 3, and I couldn't be happier. But look at this. Now, people say he's underperforming because the points are down. Points are the sexy girl at the party that gets the attention. You might say hi, but it's vapid. No. This is an absolute fantasy monster. The first game of the season was what caused some concerns immediately. People think he looked a little bit disengaged in that one. This field goal percentage to start, he jacked up. So I think it was like 12 or 13 threes versus the Warriors. Maybe because it was a close game, he could just think, I've done it before and hit that big rainbow shot and get there. But this was a guy who people were wondering what was going on after the first game. Like, is he engaged? Coaching change? Michael Malone's not there. What's he thinking? Does he want to go ride his ponies? Be a bit of a harness racer? No, he's going to be elite. And he's basically averaging a triple-double to begin the season, as he does every single season. And with a game-time decision, now it's interesting. Game-time decision has been Jamal Murray. I believe Cam Johnson has also been probable to play as well on Monday of their 4-game week. Now, Cam Johnson is a very interesting one. He is 81%. He has been dropped and a game-time decision in leagues. Again, he has gone down 10% ownership. I say it's probably getting toward that time soon that he becomes a streamable player. And I really wish it wasn't so. But especially if he moves today, we can look to pick someone up there. I do see an improvement in this bloke. I do see him shooting plus 450. I don't think it's fallen yet. I think it's absolutely insanely weird to be playing off ball with Nikola Jokic and only hitting 1 3 a game. Basically, he's got like the MPJ like job description. Like, hey guys, what can I do? Oh, just like Michael Porter, you just want me to rebound and hit threes? Cool, I can do that. Why don't you do that? So if you could just do that, it would all be good. And I think that is what we need to look for Cam. Again, it is an absolutely loaded week for games. We do have 11 games Wednesday, 1 Thursday, and I believe it is 1 on Friday as well, if I'm not mistaken with the schedule. It's absolutely wild stream-wise. Yeah, it's 11 Wednesday, 1 Thursday, 11 Friday, which means with 8 games Saturday and 7 games Sunday, the moral of the story is do not burn your waiver wire ads in week 3 too early. If you can maintain, then you can set yourself up to dominate and get your wins. Guys, that's all from me. Take care. Like it, load it, get it from Believe in Fantasy. I'm Matty G. Make sure you like and subscribe to all things here on the channel. And again, check out Sports Wizard. We'll see you soon.